WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I'm in Ireland. Today I have a bottle from Glendalough single cask Irish whiskey, Santrero aged Madeira cask finish. Single cask release. Ooh. If you look at the little tiny label here, it says I had cask number 3 of 7. MDA HH19, and I had the bottle 455 of 456. 42% ABV, whiskey base number, nice cork, 150315, and this costs over here in Germany 36 euros, which is a steal, I think, for what we have. The word Santrero, sorry, my Portuguese is non-existent, actually means a bed, as in a flower bed, or also means the same word for site, as in construction site. Now, Santrero actually means this is the highest level of quality in Madeira wines. So what do? They put these Portuguese oak barrels into a warm room and leave them there for 20 plus years. And of course, angel share must be very high, as well as the interaction with the wood. And this wonderful, wonderful Madeira wine turns into an excellent, expensive product. And somehow Glendalough received 7 of these casks, and they have now been using that to age their spirit. Now, the important thing is that this bottle says Irish whiskey. It does not say Irish single malt whiskey, which means it is a blend. Who would have thought? Glendalough is a distillery. They started 3 or 4 friends, maybe 5, started in 2011. Basically, the tiny little distill where they make gin, and they buy the products for their whiskey. Mark Anthony Brands from California has owned 40% of the company now for a few years. And what they've done now in November, December of 2019 is they bought up the rest of the stock. So now they are the majority owner of this company, which means that the owners have get to now split up the 12 million between them. All right, so where does the spirit come from? I really don't know, but I'm going to give an educated guess according to my nose and according to what I know about the Irish whiskey industry, because this is not the first single cask product they put out. We also have here from last year the Burgundy Grand Cru, which is also highest level of that red wine that they also did. Same price. I think I paid 34 for this instead of 36, but very nice. Nice casks and a very nice concept here. This is American oak and French oak finish, and there we go. And this was bottle number 35 of 366, and they actually had 12 casks of that. So good. My nose says, wow, there's a lot going on there. I get that Madeira push at the beginning, a dark, raisiny, sultans, a little bit of fig in there. But I also get a dustiness of some young grain whiskeys in there. Over here. Much more subtle, much more subdued, much more rounded, at least on the nose. This pops. This is amazing what happens. A lot going on here. Okay, 42%. Cheers. And there's a little bit going on here, as you can see. First thing, it comes in, and it feels a little bit watered down. And then a little bit of bitterkeit hits, and a little bit of alcohol comes in, and then it goes back up, and it's like, oh, look, there's Madeira. And then that alcohol kicks back in, and towards the end of the finish, there's a nice Madeira moment. The moment is not as strong, as intense as I would like to have it. It's fairly diluted, but it's there. Is this a great whiskey? Sorry, no. Is this a good whiskey? Is this an okay whiskey? Definitely. A is why haven't you bought it? B, buy it. C, if you want to, you can buy it. D, you don't need to buy it. F is a why was it even made? Ugh. This is a C whiskey. Is it bad? No. It's a single grain finished whiskey from Ireland. Transparency, basically not given, unfortunately. No age statements, no information whatsoever about where it was distilled. It says here, product of Ireland, please enjoy responsibly, GlendaloughDistillery.com. Glendalough Distillery, Wicklow, Ireland, Glendalough Madeira Cask, Irish whiskey, 42%. They use the word Glendalough Distillery a lot. But we still don't know what is actually where it came from, which is a shame. Is it okay? Yes. Going over here to our Burgundy finish. And I'm going to say finish because I do not believe that this was aged the entire time. And it even says here, it says Portuguese oak finish. It says it even on here. Even here we have French oak finish. Much rounder, much sweeter. The red wine is supporting everything in a nice, tiny little bit of way. I like this a lot better from the beginning to the end. Now, I do know that it's oxidated. This has been in the bottle now for a total of 3, maybe 5 months in total. I'm going to pour it in little tiny sample bottles after this video. This I'm going to do a bottle share with, and so hopefully I'll have friends that actually will buy this from me, so I'm not going to sit on the bottle for the next year or so. But I must say this is a C type of whiskey, and even the value for money, for what you're getting, the price is actually very, very good. It's C. If it was a better tasting whiskey for me, I'd actually give it a C+. The 36 euros, I think, is wow. Come on, where do you get Portuguese oak? Where do you get Madeira finish here? It's very, very seldom that something like that ever happens, but this is good. Yeah. So if you ever see Glendalough, make sure you buy the single casks. They now have, they used to have a 13-year-old Mitsunara. That was amazing. If you can still find one of those old bottles at a halfway decent price over here in Europe, that would be anything under 80 euros. But what they've done instead now is they brought out a great big packaging of their, I think, 17-year-old Mitsunara, and they're now charging 260 euros for that. So 3 years older, better packaging, and 3 times the price. And there's a second bottle even out there in the market, which is even more expensive. So they have discovered that there's a super, super premium market, especially at the airports, and people love buying those expensive-looking things, even though they may not know what it is. So, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, tell others about this crazy guy in Europe tasting things you might not ever see. I'm so sorry, but that's my contribution to the whiskey world, is doing videos of things people have not done before. Rare and exotic whiskeys. In this case, single cask Glendalough Irish whiskey with a Madeira finish. All the best. Thank you very much. Question of the day. What whiskeys have you had with a Madeira finish? What whiskeys do you like with a Madeira finish? I know that I had a Glendalough, 40-year-old with a Madeira finish. A friend of mine gave that to me blind, and I thought it came from Cavalon. Whoops. 40-year-old Glendalough, amazing. 1972 or something like that was when it was distilled. A great, great whiskey. Great, great, great taste. But what was your Madeira cask finish that you've had? Okay, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.